found a chicken. There's a lot of chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
And ducks. There's chickens and ducks. Hey. Hey. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Cluck, cluck. Chickens. Chickens and ducks. We found a lot of chickens and ducks. It's pretty wild. There's one back there in the woods. That's a chicken. So guys, we're here at this Buddhist temple that's over off of Rosedale Street in Fort Worth, Texas. So excited to bring you here. I haven't been to this temple yet. It's my very first time. I've been to one inside of Rendon, and now I'm here. And this one actually looks a lot more beautiful. I can't wait to show you guys. So guys, Chua Mong Go Now. I'm pretty sure is how you say it. Now. Hua Huang Dao. Buddhist monastery. It's over off of Rosedale Street, which is in Fort Worth. I didn't even know this place existed. But from the looks of it, it has absolutely amazing architecture. We're gonna go walk through and look at everything it has to offer. Let's go. Stopping. Wow. Like, every bit of this is made out of granite and marble. So amazing. Gold and brass gates. I mean, I'm sure it's not real gold, but it's absolutely beautiful. Right here, as soon as you pull in, is this amazing centerpiece. It's absolutely, absolutely beautiful piece of granite structure. Don't film anybody else. Another guy says it's okay if we film as long as we don't film anybody, right?
It's okay. I mean, I'm okay.
Thank you so much.
Do you work here or are you part of the monastery? These dragons are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So up in the middle of the centerpiece that they have when you drive in, up in the middle of that they have some incense and whatnot that you burn and to honor the dead, to pay homage. And there's another giant pot of that right here, and it's a full granite pot. Dad is full of incense. Oh no, looks like a candle blew over. Set that back up. So the last Buddhist monastery that I visited is had a deity, the Bodhisattva, which that was their main centerpiece. I'm not sure if that's the same with this temple. We'll have to definitely check that out. So that is the Bodhisattva. Come on, close. Bodhisattva. That is the Bodhisattva. Great. Great Bodhisattva. Thank you. Three different levels.
Yeah.
In like Japan, they call them torii gates.
Yes, yes.
In Vietnamese, what are the gates called in Vietnamese?
The gate is three different stage is representation of triple gems.
Okay.
So triple gems, we have Buddhism, we have triple gems. Those are basically the three gems are considered as something that is very precious. So we consider Buddhism, which is the first gem, Buddhist. Second gem is the Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha. And then the third gem is the Sangha, which is the disciples, the monks of the Buddha. So those are the triple gems. So basically the three different stages are kind of a representation of that. And in Vietnam or Asian culture, especially the Chinese culture, the dragons are representation of it's like a mythical animal of some sort.
Yeah.
We are basically calling ourselves the children of the dragon.
Okay.
And of course it's a myth thing, but it's been going on for thousands of years. So we just basically have two dragons representing the Asian culture or Vietnamese culture.
Right. And so, then I know I see a lot of excuse me, sorry. I see a lot of tigers as well.
Yeah.
In Buddhist statues and whatnot. The tiger does it represent strength?
Yes, exactly. And then dragons, of course, wisdom. So you see the two lions outside, representation of strength, and dragons are representation of wisdom.
Gotcha. Okay.
Vlogging?
What? Vlogging?
She's 7 different stages of this book. The 7 different levels. And it is more of a decoration thing, but we did this. It's basically we call it the deities. You know, we talk about the deities. So where we are paying worship to the deities here.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's what was it? It's not a totem. It's a it's more like a stupa, but it's pagoda. Pagoda would be pagoda.
Yeah,
okay,
pagoda.
okay. And then these pillars. What's the represent? I mean, I see they're wrapped in the dragon.
Yes. So the dragons are representation of the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are representation of the four deities. The 4 what is the king? The king of all the deities. And I don't know the English term for it, but when you come back,
you can say what's the Vietnamese term?
It's called Tứ Đại Thiên Vương, the four kings of the deities. So representation of the kings, the deities, and they are basically controlling different direction.
Okay.
So these are 4 different directions.
As far as directions, is it like wisdom?
No.
Strength. What are the directions?
Like
English is difficult on that.
It's basically a difficult translation, but basically in here we are basically monitored by the law, right? The police are governing the law.
Gotcha.
In the realm of the deities, there are governors, or there are police, or there are basically people who actually control all the deities. And basically these are the kings of the deities. So if you were to commit a crime, the police will catch you.
Right.
But if the deities, if they are committing some sort of a crime, these are the people who they gotta be afraid of.
Okay, gotcha.
So basically, it is something when you come in, and of course there's invisible beings all around it.
Right.
And these are basically protectors, the 4 pillar protectors of our temple.
Gotcha. Okay. And then as far as in the middle,
so that's Quan Yi. Guanyin is basically a Chinese. The Chinese really because our Vietnamese culture is influenced by Chinese so much.
Yes.
And Guanyin is a representation of a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is somebody who's on the path of becoming a Buddha. Path of enlightenment. But she is representation of loving kindness.
Okay.
So it's actually in Chinese, it's considered as a female, but in other culture it's male as well. But the representation is more than loving kindness. So in Vietnam, a lot of our Buddhists are basically worshiping Guanyin.
So I went to one other temple, and I don't know if it was Thai or Vietnamese. I can't remember. But there was
I believe it was Vietnamese.
I think it might have been Vietnamese, but there was a deity, and he carried a sword to strike down ignorance.
Okay.
But I cannot remember his name.
Yeah. So in our Vietnam, we have, since we are influenced by the Chinese for thousands of years, we have the Buddhist. That's a different branch of Buddhism.
Yes.
So in China, they basically following the Mahayana tradition. And in this temple, especially in Vietnam, we also have Mahayana tradition and also Theravada tradition.
Okay.
So the Mahayana tradition is a little deviation of going back to the history of Buddhism. When Buddhism was being spread around, they go north, they go south. So when they spread to the north, which is China, and then as time moved on, there is a little deviation of Buddhism that they practice. It's called the Mahayana tradition.
Okay.
And then you can search up on the difference between the Mahayana and the Theravada. Theravada tradition, Mahayana tradition. The main thing is that they're Chinese, right? So the Chinese have when they chant, they have a translation version of the chanting of Pali. Pali was the language that the Buddha taught when he was still alive.
Okay.
That was the language that the previous Buddha has used, the current Buddha used, and then the future Buddha will also use the Pali language. So when Buddhism was spread into the south, which is Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. So those countries also basically carry on the teaching of the original Theravada tradition, which is the language that all the temple, if you go to any of those temples, they chant the same language, which is all Pali. So those are the Theravada traditional countries. So most of them are, if you go to any Sri Lankan temple, Cambodian, Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, all those are carry on the Theravada tradition.
Gotcha.
Vietnam, we influenced by the Chinese, so we have half and half. We have Mahayana and we also have the Theravada tradition.
Okay.
Okay. So in the Theravada tradition, there is no Guanyin. But since Vietnamese, like I said, we influenced, so we use Guanyin, and a lot of our Vietnamese people worship to Guanyin statue.
Gotcha.
So mother representation of love and kindness.
Okay.
And that, of course, is the Siddhartha Buddha, right? Siddhartha, which is the current Buddha.
That's the current Buddha.
Yeah.
Right now.
Of course, he passed away 2500 years ago.
Right.
But our study right now is from him. So we basically live on the teaching, and
his teachings live on through all of them.
Yes, and it's going to be going on another 25 years.
Okay.
And then but basically the shrine hall is the shrine hall of Amma Hall.
Yes.
Where we do all our official ceremonies. So when our master designed this, it used a lot of the Asian culture, Asian culture and traditions into it. So as you see the curve on the arch, right here, this curve, those are Asian style.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly you see that in Japan, China, Vietnam.
Yes.
You see those, and of course there's dragons all around.
Right. And that's it's Tien?
Ting Ming Buddhism, meaning that it is the Ting Ming means the wisdom.
Okay.
Right, wisdom.
Right.
So and then Buddhism is like the hall, the main building. So that's our master named it like that.
Are we able to see inside?
Yes.
Or?
What time is it now? Is it almost 3? Because at 3. So these are just a cultural thing that we put up.
With the incense?
Yes, the incense and yes.
And the incense, is that to pay respect to dead or to spirits, or just as far as prayer goes?
The incense itself doesn't really mean anything. It has a fragrance. So that fragrance is basically we want to to put that fragrance, the fragrance of Dhamma. So incense actually is really bad tree for you to inhale the smoke of it. But,
Right.
but of course Chinese cultures,
Yes.
Vietnamese, we put up a lot of incense.
Okay.
But the thing is the fragrance. The fragrance itself, the fragrance here is just the flavor fragrance. But the fragrance that is representation of is the fragrance of Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha.
Okay.
So if actually we practice the Dhamma or the teaching of the Buddha, that fragrance in us, the way we live the life,
The essence.
yeah, the essence of a character of a person
Gotcha.
by practicing. So that's a fragrance. So incense is a representation of the fragrance of a person. Not the essence of a person, not really a smell.
Right.
fragrance.
It makes a lot of sense because certain smells, I mean, even though it's not about the smell, but certain smells bring back such vivid memories. So the essence of that smell to,
Right.
okay, I understand. Yeah, to the spirit. Yeah.
So on the two sides, we have two deities. One is the male deities and the female deities. So
Okay.
basically, they are the protectors of this temple.
Gotcha.
So that's the design. And then of course, there's a lot of different. All the designs are very detailed works, and it has all the meanings of it. And
You all have the giant bell.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The gong and the bell.
The gong, yes. Is it normally a gong on one side and then a bell on the other?
Yeah. Drum.
Drum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't really do this we only bring it up during the main event.
Yes.
So basically bell, drums.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
So if you come in,
That's brass.
yes. If you come in about 2 weeks, you will see a lot more decoration around. We are
Right.
basically gearing up for the new year, which is
Okay.
going to be in 2 weeks. And around here, it's just a decoration, but these are the body leaf, the body. So basically, the Buddha attained enlightenment under a tree.
You're fine.
Yeah. And that tree, when that tree really doesn't have a name. I mean, it's different name in different culture.
Right.
Even he attained enlightenment in India. When we go there, we're asking the Indians what is the Bodhi tree. They wouldn't know. But it's basically a tree. It's called the wood. Bodhi means attain enlightenment.
Okay.
So when he attained enlightenment under a tree, so that tree becomes a Bodhi tree.
Okay.
Yeah. So the leaf
So
is
the tree technically becomes enlightened within it.
Yeah, no, the tree is basically covering the shade. Okay, because he attained enlightenment. He attained enlightenment under the forest. So that's what right now we can check. So yeah, all the Buddha actually attained
To attain enlightenment.
yeah, what it means attain wisdom or enlightenment.
Okay.
And so over here that's
I'm not taking you away from.
no actually. Right? Buddhism, eight means the eightfold path.
Okay.
The eightfold path is basically the path that the Buddha attained enlightenment. 29, he decided to become a monk. So when he became a monk, he went out and searched for his path. He went through teachers, 2 different teachers, and then he went through 2 teachers, and actually he was able to reach the level of his teachers. So at some point the teacher said that they have nothing to teach him. So he said he decided after the 2 teachers he decided to go and search for the path on his own. So along with that, there's 5 other monks. Basically, these were his friends.
Okay.
They was also princes from other different countries, but they were study with him, and they went to the forest and meditate together on a path. And then that path is called the living the life of basically nothing, no eating. So starving yourself.
Is this where they go and they meditate? You hear stories of Buddhist monks, and they go to the forest. They go
Exactly.
and they
Yes.
meditate
Right.
for
Yes.
100 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
with no sustenance whatsoever.
Exactly. So that's what they did. But of course, after 6 years of doing that, following that path, he realized that this is not the path to go, because when you starve yourself at some point, it's gonna distract your mind because of your starvation. So he decided to leave these 5 months and then go search on his own path, which is basically he would eat something and then meditate. These people actually they starve themselves for 6 years.
6 years.
Each day they eat basically a grain of rice. The grain of rice. That's
one grain.
Yes, and going these are the historical things. So basically, it's being taught in the book.
Right.
So they basically following that path because they came from rich family, but they weren't happy. So they said that, okay, I'm already on this one extremes of materialistic life. So let me go to the other extreme where I basically
have nothing.
Cease from everything.
Yes.
And then, but really that it wasn't the right path. So the Buddha himself said, okay, this is not the right path. After 6 years, so he went and meditated on his own, basically going through, and then somebody offered him some food, and then he eat, and then that night he attained enlightenment.
Gotcha.
So when he attained enlightenment, the first thing he thought about was going back to teach these 5 monks, his friends. So he came back and delivered the first sermon. So the first teaching is delivering to these 5 monks, his disciples, and then after his teaching, these 5 monks become Arahant. Arahant is basically the highest stage of, it's like an enlightenment. Yes.
Okay.
But he became the
Arahant.
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 Yes. He was the first Arahant, and then these are the 5 disciples who also became Arahant.
Arahant.
So his teaching is called Dhammacakka, and there's an English translation. We call them in English, in Pali. This one is the.
That's Pali.
Yeah, that's exactly what he called. Okay,
Oh,
this
wow.
was his sermon here, and then there's an English translation, and there's a Vietnamese translation of it. So those 2 stones are the Vietnamese translation.
Oh, wow.
That's English, and then that's Pali.
That's awesome. It's in English.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So you can search that. If you search for Dhammacakka, that name right there.
Dhammacakka.
Yeah, that name on top, and then you will see that that's all different languages. Yeah. So basically, the first sutra, the first teaching, setting the motion, the wheel of truth. Okay.
Is it okay to step right here?
No,
Oh, you can
sorry,
stand on
sorry.
the stone.
No,
You can
it's
stand
okay.
on the stone. Here, I'll
No,
get
it's
it.
okay.
Okay, you got it.
But if you search for the name, you will see. You will know.
Dhammacakka.
Yeah.
Dhammacakka.
So that is the first. Basically, this is so we pay high respect to his first teaching. So when you go to India, there's a site where he was born. Where he was born in Lumbini, which is in Nepal right now.
Okay.
That site is also being more like a touristic site now, and people come and visit and pay respect.
Yes.
The second site is the site that he attained. He delivered the first teaching. Or actually, the other side is the first, where he attained enlightenment first, Bodhi, in the Bodh Gaya in India. So when you go to Bodh Gaya in India, there's a big Bodhi tree, and people come there and pay respect. And that's where he attained enlightenment. And then after that, he went back to the forest. This forest here in Isipatana. So the forest where they basically study together, meditate together, and deliver the first sermon. So that's basically we put it here so that we basically pay respect and commemorate his first teaching.
So, I keep bringing up Japanese. That's the culture I've studied the most. So as you can hear, they're doing the chant inside the temple. They're going to be doing that for the next 2 hours. They will be doing the same chant over and over and over. And it's paying respect to the Bodhisattva. The amount of discipline that must take and resolve. Amazing. So they're actually practicing the dragon dance for the Lunar New Year right now. Pretty amazing to see. They're actually using a smaller dragon than what they are going to as when they actually have the Lunar New Year celebration. This is just to practice with. The ones they're going to be using will envelop them all the way, almost like a giant puppet. It's going to be absolutely
insane to see something like that. But just look how hard they're practicing to try to get their moves down. Down pat. They all move in one fluid motion. Oh, one person messed up. Now they have to start all over. So thanks guys, I really appreciate you coming along on this one. I hope you're able to hear everything that Jen told us. It's just absolutely a beautiful place. You know what? I guarantee it's not quite what you expected. So if you do me a favor, if you like, comment, subscribe, maybe even say a little prayer.